Hello and welcome to another episode of Tips and Ideas with Ed Wallace of Midwest Landscaping, www.uniqueenvironments.com. We're back here in Compton, California, doing our pond renovation upgrade, and just want to show you some of the components that were in the old pond and the reasoning behind changing the components out and going with new components. As you can see here, we have our skimmer, and our skimmer basically was all corroded out, and the fittings and whatnot were corroded and no good. So we kept doing things to try to modify it, but as you can see inside here, a lot of the fittings through time have corroded out, and it was creating a leaking problem. We put a lot of silicone and different things to help try to cure the leaking around the face of the skimmer. See here, but through time, and you notice where some of the bolts have basically rotted off, and so some of these bolts have rotted off, so they're of no value. Trying to put silicone over top of the nuts here didn't seem to do too much of any improvement, and it was just corroded out to where they needed to be replaced. And trying to jerry rig or monkey around with this wasn't worth it. And over on our waterfall, it's pretty much the same situation, where we had fittings that were basically corroded out. The eyelets and gomerets were corroded out, so we had to replace the whole section here. And we had water that was basically backtracking behind the waterfall. We put silicone and foam and all different kinds of things in here, but it wasn't happening. This box is still in pretty decent shape, but we're going to take and go ahead and replace it with a new box. Here's the filters. This is what the filters look like when they're not maintained well. You got slime and everything else going with these filters. These are pretty thick filters, but if you don't maintenance the pond, this is what kind of crap you can get. This was in the bottom of the waterfall vault, and this is the skimmer net. What the skimmer net looked like from pretty much the lack of maintenance. And see how much mud and debris and crap is in the bottom of the filter here. So when you don't maintain the pond well, you get these kind of situations happening. This is our new skimmer with our mat and our net to be able to catch the debris. It's a little bit much smaller skimmer, but it's going to be functional. And this is our media waterfall that we have here that we're going to install in place of these two units here. Here is where we dug it out. We'll be expanding the pond somewhat and raising the height of it to get a little bit more dramatic waterfall. So we'll reposition the centering of the waterfall here on the back wall, widen out this area here, over here where this pump is located, and modify the hole here where the skimmer was located. There's our autofill supply line right there that will tie in for our autofill, and this pipe here is what supplies the water for the waterfall. So I just wanted to show you the reasoning behind changing out these two vaults, and part of the process of taking care of this pond makeover rebuild. Stay tuned for continuing explanation of what we're doing here in Compton, California with this pond renovation improvement. Ed Wallace, Tips and Ideas, Midwest Landscaping, www.uniqueenvironments.com.